realizing our dream to move to France came earlier than anticipated. Come with us and enjoy the trials and tribulations that have occurred. Follow me, Joe Harris, my husband Steve, and our gorgeous fox red Labrador Morse on our journey to integrate into French society. Bon courage! Unbelievably, it was Steve's 60th birthday. I know! He doesn't look it, I hear you all shout. So we had a few friends over to celebrate, and then Tilly arrived.
Oh, we're 2 years behind me.
Okay.
And
Happy birthday to you.
gosh, what a surprise!
Happy birthday to you.
Look at his face.
Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you.
Cheers!
Happy
Thank you.
birthday again!
Thank you everybody for your fantastic messages. Really, really appreciate it. Cheers.
Thank you!
So we've come out for the day with Tilly. Her first full day in France. There's Jojo over there on the bench, a million miles away. Don't know if you can see her. So we've come to Chaillac, where there's a big natural lake, but it's also got a beach. It looks like it's going to be a lovely day today, and there's Tilster sunbathing already. Bonjour, you mean? Yeah. Looks as if they're doing a bit of work here, because it's not actually the holiday season here yet. It's the end of June. Kids are still at school, so it looks like they're going to put, well, they are putting new swings and slides and things in. But yeah, and look at the day, beautiful. And luckily, the log flume, or whatever it's called, water slide, is all locked up at the moment, because I'm sure Tilly would want to be going up and down there. But as Till's just pointed out, the when they can finally get here, when Maxie's well enough to travel, Isla and Max are going to absolutely love this place. So
this is the beautiful lake at Chaillac. It's a stunning day. It's not too hot. And I'm just walking out on the pontoon, which floats, so it's all over the place. But wow, it's so gorgeous. So over here is a water slide, which is not in operation at the moment, thankfully. And there's right over there are Steve and Tilly sitting on the beach, this little man-made beach. Every now and then you can hear the plop of a fish. And you can just imagine sort of sitting on the end of here with a fishing rod. Just really beautiful. The water's a little bit grimy, but you don't notice that. But it is such a beautiful place. And as usual, we've just got it to ourselves. There's no one else here. So pretty. And it goes on, the lake goes on up there around the corner. It's huge. And you can walk right the way around it. So we've brought Morse here a couple of times. He's a bit poorly at the moment, but not too bad. But we decided not to bring him near the water. He gets very sore ears like a lot of Labradors do. But wow, isn't this beautiful? So I shall walk up. Hopefully without falling off this pontoon, which is moving. Any of you who know me know that it's very strange that I would be doing that. But it's absolutely beautiful. And for me, the weather is absolutely perfect because it's cool, but it's really sunny. So it's really gorgeous here. So there's lots of picnic tables under the trees for people who don't like sitting in the sun, i.e. me. But yeah, so this is all I think it's in the process of being made into a bigger and better playground for the kids. But such a fantastic place to be able to come, because we are right in the middle of France, so as far away from the sea as you can possibly be. So this is a nice substitute. Good morning, everyone. The first thing I want to do is apologise for not having done a vlog for a while. There's just been so much going on, and it's extraordinarily difficult to keep your camera with you. But I'll fill you in on most of the things at a later date. But anyway, so we're up and running again. Apart from Steve's monumental birthday, which we had a great time. Our friends all came over and we had some lovely food, and as you saw, we all sang happy birthday to the old boy, and we had a great time, really good time. So thanks everyone for coming, it was really good fun. And then Tilly arrived. There were a few photographs that I just can't find them anywhere. They were, because we have a village near here called Tilly, and so we've got a picture of her pointing to the signpost saying Tilly, which are quite sweet, but I can't find them, but I'll put them on another one when I find them. So the story I wanted to tell you about today was the story of Bright. Our neighbour, when we first came over, had 3 dogs, a mummy and 2 puppies. The puppies used to get into our garden quite regularly. Not that we minded that, but it was just that we weren't fenced at the time, so I was worried that they'd get out onto the road. So we sort of spoke to him about it, and he was absolutely fine. And he put a bit of a fence up to stop them getting in, and that was that. Anyway, we noticed that his car had gone one day, and he does work nights, and we know that because the dogs bark incessantly all night long, and they're in the garden, so they're loud. It's loud. But anyway, his car had gone, and we didn't really think anything of it. But he didn't come back for a couple of days, and the dogs were barking all the time, and we just didn't, we didn't really know what was going on. And Steve had a look over the fence, and although there was a big sort of dog bed full of water, it was pretty stagnant water, and the mother dog is tied up, and there's one puppy now, although it's about a year and a half old now. And Steve took some photographs, and she was just so skinny. You could see the bones in her backside sticking out. She was that skinny, her hip bones. So we chucked over a few bonios and things, which they absolutely gobbled up, so they were absolutely starving. The following day we made sure they'd got fresh water, so we put a bowl of water over, but it's difficult because the fence, the foliage is so dense, and now with this new fence up, but with the mother being tied up, she couldn't reach that anyway, so we just thought, what are we going to do? Anyway, on the 4th day, again, this is without any food, we threw over some more biscuits, and they just went bananas for them. And we managed to contact some of the other neighbours who knew this neighbour's ex-wife's telephone number. So somebody phoned her, and within 2 hours he was back, and with his car. He was bundling the dogs into the back of the car. Steve just ran out there and sort of said, do you not want them? Do you not want these dogs? And he just said, well, not really, sort of thing. And then we said, well, look, Steve said, we can take them and we can get them rehomed. So he sort of shook his head, and he's, and then all the other neighbours turned up. It was quite a bit of a standoff in the village, and I could see this chap getting a little bit agitated. And then he said, well, you can have that one, pointing to the younger one. And he said, but you can't have the mother. So we said, okay, you know, and we said, you're going to give her to us. And he said, yes. And all the neighbours heard this. So I ran in and got the lead, not really knowing what was going to happen. And we took her out of the car. He drove off. So we'd suddenly got this dog. And, you know, we had discussed what would happen if he didn't come back. What would we do? And we said, oh, well, we'd get them rehomed. But she's this very sweet little thing, and very, very skinny, very timid, frightened of every noise. Obviously so used to living outside that just wants to be outside all the time, doesn't understand about being indoors. So anyway, we now have a new dog and her name's Bright, and she really is a very sweet little thing. She's gradually coming out of herself. She's put on a bit of weight, and I typically, you know, I would love to have done before and after shots. I've got the video, which was coming up next, of her the day we got her, and then I explain all this again. But yes, and there's a few more where, so I'll take another one today and show you what she looks like now. But she's absolutely gorgeous. The hilarious thing was that we thought she was a boy, and then realised quite quickly that she was a girl. And the day after we got her, she came into season. And as you know, Morse is an entire dog. And we just didn't know what to do. We just thought, oh no, what are we going to do? We didn't want puppies, and she's far too young, really. She's only 1.5 years. And we thought perhaps that we would, you know, get her spayed, but the vets won't spay her while they're in season. So they said the first time they could do her would be October. And we sort of said, oh no, that's such a long way away. So then we thought perhaps Morse could go and stay with somebody, but they're in heat for 3 weeks. So it was going to be a massive expense, and you know, we haven't got anyone who can look after our dog for 3 weeks. So we made the decision that we would get him castrated. And my friend Tiffany put me in touch with a fantastic vet who just said, yep, bring him along and we'll get this done. So it was awful because poor old Morse didn't know what was going to happen. So I took him along, and he just said, we'll come back in an hour and you can pick him up. And he does this, he's a retired vet, and he does this as a favour to people who rescue dogs. And so it was just much cheaper than an actual, you know, than a up and running vet. Much easier because there was no overnight stay or anything. He's close. He just you know, he was absolutely fantastic, and Morse just didn't bat an eyelid, really. So yeah, poor old chap went and had those bits taken off. I went and got him again the same day. He was a bit groggy, sort of a bit wobbly on his feet. And we had to dress him in a t-shirt to stop him licking the area. But he wouldn't keep it on, or it just kept coming off. And unfortunately, it didn't heal particularly quickly. So I contacted this chap again, and I said, you know, it's all a bit swollen. And so he just said, bring him straight over. So I took him over, and he said, oh, it's nothing to worry about. It's just fluid that's forming, and he said I wouldn't be able to touch it. He wouldn't let you touch it if it was infected. So he gave me some more antibiotics, and I took him back home again. We managed to make him keep the t-shirt on this time. It's put on backwards over his bottom, and I sort of did it up with. I actually put his harness on and tied it to his harness, and he kept it on, and so he's absolutely fine now. So that was about 3 weeks recovery. And he's absolutely fine now, and it's no different. So, thank goodness. Poor old chap. But anyway, they are very, very sweet together. Morse just looks like an old lumbering dog because she's so fast. And as I said, she's put on weight. She's nice and shiny. She's very intelligent little thing, and a bit of a nibbler, but we'll see about that. But anyway, have a look at this next video of her, and I'll see you a bit later. Well,
It's a long story.
bit of a shock. It's a long story, and it started off with our neighbour going away and leaving his dogs. I can't get away from her now. Leaving his dogs. Sorry, I've got you, Steve, now. For 4 days, just tied up in the back garden, with no food. They did have water. So we were starting to throw over a few bonios and things, and they were gobbling them up. So obviously starving. But anyway, we spoke to the neighbours who knew the ex-wife's number, and sorry, I'm all confused. I can't get my words out. But the long and short of it is that he came back, got these 2 dogs into the back of his car, and was about to drive off. And Steve just said, "Do you not want them?" And he just sort of said, "Not really." He said he wanted to keep the mother, but we could have this one as a gift if we wanted. And Steve just said yes. So this is the new member of our family. Her name is Bright. She was already called that, but in French. I hope I've translated it properly, but she's now called Bright. She's been here a night. We've deloused her and all sorts of things. I think we didn't really see anything much on her, but But anyway, she's a sweet little thing. She looks a lot like my old dog Brum. So we thought she was a boy when we got her, but she's actually a girl. So Morsey and she seem to get on really well, unbelievably. So we're going to take her to the vet tomorrow, and just get her checked over.
And then we're going to feed her quite a lot.
And then we're going to feed her, because poor thing, you can see how skinny she is. She's a sweet thing though. She's very waggy and very trusting.
Very calm.
But as I say, we don't. This is day 1. But yeah, so we're going to have to get her spayed, because we don't want puppies, which I think is a good thing. We'll have to get her microchipped.
We think she's just over a year old, don't we?
Yes, sorry, all the stuff everywhere, but I wasn't expecting to do filming. But she's incredible, and she's really taken to Steve and follows him round, and she's very sweet. So this is about the size that she's going to be. So I don't think she's going to get any bigger. Her paws and everything look in proportion to the rest of her. So, and she, as we say, we think she's about a year and a half, maybe. Maybe a year and a half. Maybe a year and a half. So yeah, how weird is that? But we've been looking up about the law about, abandoned dogs and things, and it appears that, it's something you can do, is just take them in or inform the local Marie, that sort of thing. But yeah, so we'll take a lot more footage of her. It's just incredible. I can't believe we've got another dog. Okay, so we've just given Bright her first bath. What are you doing? Because she's very smelly. You're very smelly, aren't you? Yes. She likes to kiss the camera. She was really good. She was a bit frightened, but we didn't do her head or anything. But she's bound to have got fleas, and well, we've seen quite a few fleas, but we did deflea her almost immediately. And but yeah, they seem to be getting on. It's amazing. She is a bit scared, and yesterday she jumped up on here and she jumped straight in the pool with the cover on, because she obviously thought it was solid, and then Steve had to jump in and save her. but I think she would have been able to get out. She's very bouncy. She's got very long legs. She's a real sweetheart. She's bossing Morse around, unfortunately. He's you silly old dog. So we don't want her to get back in the pool, but ooh. But I'm going to have to get in there in a minute because it's 37 degrees and it's going to be 39 by 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'm absolutely scorched. But oh, and now you're doing that. You're. No, well, don't encourage her up onto the chairs. She got on it last night while we were sitting out, not that one, but one on the pergola, while we were sitting here playing cards. Actually, it was a bit cooler last night. And she just got in the chair and went to sleep. It was so funny. Steve's nose was put out of joint. So look at all these flowers. They're so pretty. Look, from a sunflower. Well, we've got about 6 of them, I think. They're very tiny. But they've done so well after being wrecked, like I've said before. So yeah, so I think I'm now going to go and put my bathing costume on and get in the pool. As you can see, I found the pictures of Tilly and Tilly. It was so lovely to have her to stay, and as one of the original Buccaneers, we were so sad to see her go. Bright is doing well. She has a really special personality and has already become an integral part of our family. Morse has recovered completely from his little operation, and Steve has become used to being a little older. I will endeavour to do regular vlogs from now on. Please keep liking and subscribing. We are so appreciative and love sharing our adventures with you all. Keep safe and see you next time.